Hi all, this is Controlled Chaos, and today I am doing an interview with Senpai, the head developer from the Thunderspy City Heroes private server. How are you doing today, Senpai?
Good, good. Having a good weekend so far.
That's always good to hear. Now, I got some questions for you here. What made you want to be a developer for a City Heroes private server?
Well, in the 6 years that the game was gone, I just missed it so much, and I thought it would never come back. And when it finally did, uh, I was already a professional software developer, so I just knew I had to code for it. I never thought I would have the chance to code for City of Heroes.
Yeah, I mean, when the game went away, a lot of people probably thought the same thing. So I'm glad that you got that option. Now, going off of that question, what made you choose the Thunder Spy server over the others to work with of the private servers?
Well, the reason why I decided to code for Thunderspy specifically is because it was the second server to pop up besides Homecoming, and all of us at Thunderspy, we saw the how Homecoming was genericing, making a character generic if it was after a copyright character. And the server's actually named after a kid called Thunderspy. He calls himself Thunderspy. And he loves Spider-Man. He's like obsessed with Spider-Man. He's a little on the spectrum, so that's just something he loves. And he he was generic, and he moved over to our server, which we were trying to get started up, and he gave our server a chance before we even had a name really. And he wanted to be Spider-Man, so we let him be Spider-Man, and we called ourselves the Thunderspy server. If you ever get a chance to meet Thunderspy, he's a really cool kid.
So wait a second, you're saying that you named your server after one of your players?
Yeah, you should have seen him though. He was just really enthusiastic about the server coming up, and he says he just wants to play video games and he wants to keep the server alive.
That's really cool. Thank you for that information. Continuing on, I want to know what's your favorite part of working as a developer for the private for Thunderspy.
Well, it's definitely adding new features to the game that I always wanted to see, and a lot of other players always wanted to see, such as the custom pets was always really heavily requested, and also player housing was also a big one that we've added that we've always wanted to see in the game. But it's also a great learning opportunity because I'm a professional software developer, but I am not a system administrator, and I've been learning a lot of that since I've been hosting an MMO.
Yeah, that two totally different jobs. That's why they have two people filling those positions because they keep you very busy. So I don't know how you gain free time, doing what you're doing. Now, I want to ask you some personal thoughts on just City of Heroes itself. What do you like most about City of Heroes?
Well, the character customization, and I really like how it's not too lore heavy. There's a lot of room to make your own character and really get in character.
Yeah,
And I just love the world of City of Heroes, of Paragon City and the Rogue Isles and Praetoria. They're all really interesting places.
yeah, that's always been interesting to me is they didn't just choose like, oh, Marvel, DC, whatever. They made their own, which gave them the freedom to do whatever they sort of wanted. And you're right, that character customization, insane. I spend hours making characters, and I'm always making alts. Speaking of that, what's your favorite power set in City Heroes?
Oh, that's a tough one. When the game first started, I had two mains. One was a super strength and vulnerability tanker, and the other one was an empathy psychic defender.
Oh, cool. Which do you prefer playing, heroes or villains?
Well, the I feel like the villain side is it came later, and they learned a lot from the City of Heroes.
Hmm?
So I feel like that one's just better designed. It has a much better, uh, much cooler looking world with lots of stuff crammed into it. Like every corner you turn, there's like an ancient fortress that's been taken over by Arachnos that's haunted by ghosts, and on the other side there's like a slum. It's just a lot of stuff in one place.
Yeah, it is. Now, since we're on this whole entire thing of City Heroes and superhero MMOs, what do you think about Champions Online and DC Universe Online?
I never played them, but I just miss City of Heroes so much that I felt like it nothing could really replace it, so I just tried to move on.
Yeah, in a way, I think you made the smart move because neither of those can replace City of Heroes. City of Heroes is just so grand in itself. Not even adding on City of Villains or Rogue Isles, but City of Heroes itself. So many zones there and so different feels between the zones. It's just amazing. Now, I got one last question for you. What can you tell us is in the works for Thunderspy servers for players to look forward to?
Well, we're working on trying to extend the end game. So we've added capability to spawn what we call incarnate hunters, which are they're kind of like how if you have a Keldian on your team, there's a random chance that a quantum enemy will spawn that hunts Keldians.
Hmm.
Well, if you have an incarnate on your team, there's a chance that an incarnate hunter might spawn, which could take away your level shifts or disable some of your incarnate powers, so you have to defeat those first. And also on that note, we're looking to add more enemies that have more strategy to them, kind of like the sappers, for instance, or the sky raider engineers. Like certain enemies that you want to take those out first, or enemies that you have to fight in a certain order. Kind of deconstruct the mob spawn strategically.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I like that you guys are adding in something for, new to the end game. And you're right, there are times where you need to deconstruct how things are done with like the raiders. You always want to take out the engineer first so that he doesn't pull up that shield drone and stuff like that, making your fight harder. I think that's cool that you guys are working on the end game. Well, I want to thank you, Senpai, for taking your time to do this interview, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it and have a good night.
Sure, good night.